Good morning. This is Mercedes Warrick with the first thoughts of the day and the I Am Mind. I just have to exhale. The 4th of July was tough for me this year because I am now sensitive to the energies of the collective, of the world, of humanity. So through my ignorance, I did not maybe fully understand the repercussions of the 4th of July or the thinking or the emotions or the anger around the 4th of July for people of color. It was an interesting day because there was a beautiful flute ceremony that came through the Facebook feed, and I shared it on my page, and I thought how wonderful, without knowing through my ignorance that Native Americans were slaughtered. So that very time that we were celebrating our independence from oppression of the English, we were being oppressed by the very people who were celebrating. And I did not understand the anger, and so as I exhaled through the day and was on my Facebook feed, I was reading and seeing, and then this beautiful piece came through with James Earl Jones narrating a piece from Frederick Douglass, and I went, oh, and I ended up talking with a sister of mine, a friend of mine, and asking her where the metaphysics of all of this was. Where was the love in all of this? Where's the collective consciousness of elevating our ancestors who lived through all of this? And I remember saying I don't have a solution, but I do know that the more we're the more anger or more angry we attract. So when two precious lives were lost through violence and mindset yesterday, and that anger was coming through my feed, but now the images are coming through my feed, and I'm thinking, where is the metaphysics in all of this? And the calls for justice and the calls for change. I don't know. I don't have a metaphysical answer. I know that one person changing can change the world. And one person's love can change the world. So I'm not here to say that the anger is counterproductive, because I think that fear and anger can move us into positions and light and understanding and revelation that we may not have gained without having the experience that angered us. And I know that as an individual, I stand in my awareness, or lack thereof, and breathe into the world that which is cold. And often it's harmony and balance and love and freedom and understanding and compassion. That is the metaphysics of this for me as an individual. Build schools and communities and choose to spend your dollars wherever you choose to spend them. But shift it from this anger into the state of love. Maybe it's the love of the people. Maybe it's the love of the people who look like you. Anger is not wrong. It's part of the consciousness. It's part of the collective. It's part of the wave that will shift us. As I picked up the recorder this morning, the thought that finally moved me to say something was that we must get out of this reactionary anger to move into a collective or individual response. That steadied, measured response. Loving. Loving of self, loving of your people, loving of the world, loving of change, loving of the righteousness of humanity, the respect for individual living, and the upholding of this consciousness we call God, right, love, peace, harmony, balance, all the aspect of goodness that is our essence. I don't know what the metaphysical is of this. I don't know that any one leader can move us to the manna of peace, to the food of love, to the breath of respect, and life and living, that allows the light in me to see the light in every situation. I know that my individual energy applied through the outrage, through the anger, through the victimization and the victimization of a generational mindset that is continuing to enslave us. I don't have an answer to this, but I feel in ways that I did not even know were possible, actually. I feel this pain and this anger and this helplessness and hopelessness and outrage. Somehow there has got to be a finding of the steady, strong footing. In my work, I call it getting our legs underneath us. We cannot individually be holding the ground for our abundance and prosperity and our love and our individual ascension to some imaginary evolution. The evolution is how we respond to this daily living. This is a place of duality, so it is all going to exist. This extreme hatred and extreme love and every gradation in between. So respond with conscious awareness. Respond with steadiness. And respond through a collective understanding of the true nature of ourselves as divine individuals. Respond. Every response is valid. It serves a purpose. It moves us to be there are times when there are times when the judgment of what is right and what is wrong is hard. Because what is before us can be so horrific that we can't see the purpose of it. And we feel the pain of a young child crying for his father. But that is our time. That is the time when we are challenged to take this collective deep inhalation and exhale and bring forth with steady consideration your part, your individual part, your individual essence, your individual intelligence, your individual light, your individual love, your individual anger, your individual movement, your individual response, your individual action, your individual emotion, your individual knowing, your individual purpose, because it becomes part of the collective. This is a duality that we are living in. And so when we feel the pain, and we see the horrible, horrific actions of an individual, it comes and becomes part of the collective. And it challenges us to be our individual selves and to bring our individual energy into this world. It means that the metaphysical is you and me in our individual consciousness and the collective I. We can feel this pain because we are part of this collective consciousness that is the I. The I am. So bring forth today who you are and who you are called to be and what you are called to put into this world. Be true to that. Be true to that. Because while it may be painful to watch on this feed we call social media, on the news reports, and God forbid that you were actually living a piece of this horrible event personally in your true space. I believe in this time that the metaphysics of this is to be who you are and to react and respond authentically, because every voice, every light, every action matters. It becomes who we are. It allows us to see the narratives, and it brings us into choice. And maybe one day there is such a uprising of collective consciousness that we will choose to love each other and to honor each other and to know that every life is precious. So, I learned something, that maybe the 4th of July is the celebration of the ancestors. That it is time to give thanks for their sacrifice. And it is a celebration of the oppressors, because through that action we become aware. We become aware, and it gives us an opportunity to respond, to be measured, to be purposeful and purpose-filled, to be loving and respectful and grateful. These actions of violence allows us to dig into ourselves and find these moments and to find ourselves. It allows ourselves to respond in any way that we choose honorably. So as a vessel, my choice at times is to put forth these long narratives like this one. But I feel this now in ways that I have never felt before, through the energetic fields, and I can feel the waves of despair and anger and hurt and fear. So deep within you, as we react through these emotions, know that love is the motivating force. The love of humanity, the love of what we would consider to be right and just and human and humane. There's love here. There is love here. Namaste.